Hi, I'm Malia Edwards. I'm an associate professor at the Wilmer Eye Institute at Johns Hopkins, and I'm a basic researcher or discovery researcher, as we kind of talked about today. And my lab focuses on understanding the pathobiology behind choroideremia. So we really want to understand the role of different cell types. And one of the ways we do that is through using animal models, also using stem cells, and we also use human tissue. So we've received human donor eyes from choroideremia patients, and we're able to use this to really understand what's happening in the eye. I think one of the big obstacles with CHM is, they're complex diseases, even a disease that we know the gene mutation and we know kind of what the protein does. There's still all these secondary effects that happen beyond just the initial insult. We know the first thing probably happens to the RPE, but then there's secondary effects, which is what I'm actually more interested in, and how the changes in the retina are occurring and how these then kind of cause, I think, almost a secondary disease process that then contributes also to the photoreceptor loss and the vision loss ultimately. So working with the CRF really has been so inspirational for me. I came to my first meeting, I think 2 years ago, although I've been working with the Choroideremia Foundation for a few years before that. And just interacting with the patients, the whole foundation is the fact that it's family-based and it's really the patients and the families driving the research. And to be here interacting with patients, really seeing, it's a real reminder of why we do what we do. And research is something, basic science isn't an easy thing to do, but we do it because we're passionate about it. And I think for me, this is really inspiring. And it reminds me again, this is why I'm doing what I do. And I think just seeing the day-to-day and seeing how appreciative patients are for what we do, that really inspires me to go back to the lab and keep working. I think we're at a really exciting time actually with choroideremia research because we are making advances. We are seeing clinical trials come out. We're seeing a better understanding of the pathogenesis. Just the imaging that we can get and how that's been improved is really helping us to understand the basics of the disease, and I think will lead to even better treatments in the near future. And again, it comes back to the patient advocates that are here and are really driving this research and funding the research that we're doing, allowing us to do the research. So we are grateful to the families for that. So we need continued research support because we need to fund in academic labs, and people might not be aware of this. We're funding, I work at Hopkins. Hopkins doesn't pay my salary. Hopkins doesn't pay the salary of anyone that works in my lab. That all comes from grants from Choroideremia Foundation or the National Eye Institute. Right now, we're at kind of a tricky point as far as funding. And I think that, we need that funding to be able to do that research, because every time we have to bring new people into the lab, we have to train them to do things. And that can slow our research down a little bit. And the reagents that we work with are extremely expensive. And everything we use has to be purchased with grant money. So all of those dollars get well spent, and we are careful about how we spend the money. But it really is what allows us to do the research. Without it, there's no people to do the work, and we can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have bodies doing the work, then it's impossible. Saving sight is our vision. Building hope is how we get there. Join us, donate today at curechm.org.